do. Welcome inside Evan and Tiki on the day 4 of the Evan European vacation. France to Spain and back to France. We've been in touch with our fun friend. It's me, it's Tiki, Tommy, Big Zoo with us along the way. We'll monitor both ends of the Mets doubleheader, get inside the Yankee win last night, and plenty of fun shenanigans. Plus this promise for you today on the show. I think I may have stumbled upon the greatest Tiki Barber rabbit hole in our show's brief history. Tiki, good afternoon. Man, he was never mind. Cam Schlittler was great.
Good as Schlitt.
Yes. We can't help ourselves. Can't help ourselves.
It's the dad joke day. Look, I think we probably could have seen this coming simply because of how well he was pitching in the minor leagues this season, and his velocity is jacked up from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hitting 100, that first strikeout where they saved the ball. It was just, I mean, it was a beautiful, as perfect of a pitch as you could throw, and it just froze the Mariners. What was this catcher's name? Cam Riley. Cal Riley. And it was, I mean, it was special to watch that kid. And it was fun to see his family's reaction.
Oh, it was great.
And the standing ovation as it got repopulated on social media. It just like people said it to music and all this other stuff.
Great.
It just gives you chills. Like you love those type of stories to see young kids come up and achieve. And so clap of the hand for Cam Schlittler, who did a fantastic job last night.
There's obviously a couple different avenues to go with the Yankees. Suddenly feel rebirthed and rejuvenated over the last
tons of runs.
Scoring tons of runs. Maybe the joke about Cody Bellinger's catch saving the season has some merit. But what I really appreciated about last night above anything else, and look, we come in here every single day and break down baseball games every single day. And it's part of the ride for 162 games. Last night with Cam Schlittler on the mound, for me, both as a fan and working here at the Fan, I thought it broke up the monotony. It reminded me that for all the screaming and yelling we catch ourselves in moments about, last night was just cool.
Because it was different.
It was different.
It felt fresh and new, despite being the same one of 162.
Exactly. The Yankees right now are at a spot where I cannot believe I'm saying this when you consider where they were a week ago. They don't feel stale. And Cam Schlittler's effort last night and everything that went along with it, and walking out to that ovation and seeing his parents hug, like that was a moment what sports is all about.
Right.
And every year, every couple years, maybe you have a prospect come up and they either work out, they don't work out, they have a moment. And I have no idea what the future of Cam Schlittler in the major leagues is going to be. Maybe he is the future ace of the New York Yankees.
Could be.
Maybe.
Big kid. 6'6", 20. I mean, maybe.
Maybe last night is the moment of his career, and I hope not for him. Maybe with that velocity, he turns out to be the future closer of the Yankees. Maybe he's traded in 2 weeks for Eugenio Suarez. But whatever it is, like last night is why you watch sports. And it was just, how cool was that for the family? How great was that for the Yankees? And I think for the Yankees themselves, on a day where they dumped DJ LeMahieu and he wasn't happy about it, to inject that, I think it was almost the perfect balancing act, right? Because it would have been very easy for some of those veterans in the Yankee clubhouse to be like, man, this is a tough business. Look what happened to our friend DJ LeMahieu. But what Cam Schlittler brought to them last night, I think was the perfect recipe to inject some youth into this team.
It was, and it injected some energy into this Yankees team, and just the organization and the fan base and everyone involved. It was interesting. I briefly, caught Keith last night, and he was talking about how the DJ LeMahieu DFA'ing finally showed that the Yankees are getting serious. Right? This is as we kind of briefed on. At some point, you have to make a decision of what's our postseason roster going to look like. Like, we're not just going to waffle along and go through the motions and have it feel like, oh, we'll figure it out when we get there type of situation. The earlier you start to get your roster right, the better your chances are of finishing strong at post-All-Star break, post-trade deadline, into the latter part of the season, and into the postseason. And it always feels like the Yankees just kind of, all right, we'll get there. Don't worry about it. We'll think about doing something at the trade deadline, but we have it all right here in front of us. We don't have to worry about going to get a new arm or a new bat or whatever the situation may be. We're fine. We'll figure it out. And if we don't, then we'll just flip the switch and turn it on. That doesn't work, man.
It doesn't.
You got to get yourself right at this point in the season. And for previous seasons, you could look at the Yankees and be frustrated. This week, for whatever reason, it feels like they're actually being proactive as opposed to reactive to the issues that have been plaguing them.
We all have had relationships in life, whether that is friendships, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, siblings, parents, grandparents, where everybody has this moment in life where you just get really frustrated with each other.
Right.
And maybe it just takes I got to yell at you, you got to yell at me back, and this explosion.
Right.
And
I love you, but F you.
I hate this about you. I can't stand this about you. The business. Oh, that's what you think about me. Bah, bah, bah. And it almost feels like this week, the Yankee fan frustration and the Yankee organization frustration had a metaphorical fight with each other. We can't take this. I can't stand you about this. And we both have come to a mutual understanding that we need each other. We're not going to leave each other. We love each other. And the Yankee organization has answered back in a big way. And the DJ LeMahieu DFA is a part of that. But you know what else it did? When you bring up Cam and he throws a game like that, and it's not now that they've already announced he's going to make another start, and the DJ moment like that where he's a veteran, Johnny Lugauer, go, look out for this, what I'm going to say next. Everybody's on alert now.
Yeah.
The Yankees are now taking their roster serious enough that you're not just handed a job. If you are not producing, provided, we are looking to get deeper, looking to get more flexible. And if Cam Schlittler keeps pitching like that and Luis Gil comes back and you keep him up, guess what? Marcus Stroman, you're on alert tonight. Right. Will Warren, you're on alert to keep pitching this way.
They always say this in football. You hear it, and it annoys the hell out of me because it's such a dumb cliche. Iron sharpens iron. We got a great wide receiver and a great defensive back row. They're fighting it. Iron sharpens iron. I don't know if that's true because it's never really full go in practice like that. But when it gets to produce or be gone, as it seems like the Yankees have just recently done, that's iron sharpening iron, meaning I'm competing as a teammate with the success that you just had. Right? This is like my life growing up. Right? My brother and I always identical twin brothers, right? Doing the same stuff all the time. If he did something well, I had to do something well. If I did something well, he had to do something well. I mean, it drove us to the successes that we had in our athletic careers. And so I think that happens on teams, especially teams that are close and feeling each other. And I don't know how close this Yankee team is, but I feel like this is the moment where you get close and then you drive each other.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, everybody rises because of it.
And I think you're seeing that. Now, on Cam specifically, CJS, as we tried calling him yesterday.
I kind of like that still.
I did too. I don't want to sound like a foolish Yankee fan. I do that far too often anyway. But I am excited after what I saw from him. And it wasn't just the fact that he pitched well.
Yes.
I mean, he had 9 of the 10 highest velocity pitches pitched by a Yankee this year.
That was bizarre.
That was bizarre. Like think about that. You can't teach that kind of arm talent.
But how has there not been a Yankee that's hit 98?
Well, the guy last year was Luis Gil. So he hasn't pitched this year. Look, Rodon has learned how to pitch more.
Could ramp it up every now and then, not all the time.
Max Fried's more of a pitcher.
Yeah.
He's not going to get up and strike you out with these 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, and they haven't had that at the pen. It was shocking, but that velocity plays.
No
and
doubt.
His look, his attitude, he was like a weird cross version of A.J. Burnett and Garrett Cole with the hair, the tattoos. When it comes to pitching and getting big league outs, you know how the eye test, right? You just watch somebody pitch, but then they also have to have a certain way they carry themselves and a swagger about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Cam Schlittler felt like that.
He definitely did.
And these words could come back to haunt me.
He wasn't intimidated by the moment.
No.
Now the thing I got to figure out is the tattoo on his left arm. Every time I look at it, I see something different, so I don't know what it is. So I need to get a close-up at some point. This will be in my next rabbit hole.
Okay.
Like, what's that that tattoo?
Yeah,
for a 24-year-old kid, I mean, it's kind of badass. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what kind of experiences have you had to get that tattoo?
Oh,
and so,
please do me the favor of looking at that. I did the old, hey, those are tattoos. I didn't look too far into.
Well, tattoos have meanings. I mean, I have a bunch of them. You can't see most of them, but they all have meanings, and so it's just things like that interest me because it tells me a little bit about the person because we don't know him yet.
No, we don't.
He just come up. We seen him. He had some success last night. He got a standing ovation as he left the mound after 5 1/3, and it just feels like, man, this kid is going someplace. But who are you?
Who are you?
Right, and we know you were at Northeastern. You had a tough third season, which is why he fell in the draft, and the Yankees snatched him up, and he's improved after his 2023 year, which was like kind of average in the minors. And last year he was awesome, fantastic player, and it set him up for where he is now. But who is he?
Who is he?
What's he about? I don't even know what he sounds like.
No, I don't either. And it was great, obviously, watching his family. But here's the next pivot question I have. Because the other big party yesterday was Brian Cashman speaking about going to town at the trade deadline. And Jeff Passan dropped an article today on where he thinks the fits. He, again, is really pounding the Eugenio Suarez to the Yankees. And he even kind of dropped a little pixie dust that Emmanuel Clase and the Yankees could be a fit, obviously. But those guys are going to cost serious prospects. And Brian Cashman yesterday half-jokingly caught himself and said some prospects are less touchable than the others or more touchable than the others. After we saw, and I'm curious to get our Yankee fans' thought on this, 888-808-1019. After you saw a taste of Cam Schlittler last night, and I want a second date with him, I want to see a second start, would you classify him as one of your less touchable prospects? Because that kind of arm talent doesn't grow on trees, but if you get a third baseman like Suarez.
God, it's a hard one. But I would not want to send him away after seeing what we just saw. This is his first appearance in the majors, and he's not afraid to throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle against the leader in home runs in Cal Riley in Major League Baseball. He challenged the best home run hitter in Major League Baseball this year. Look, the best home run hitter in baseball is King Aaron Judge. But whatever. We're giving Cal Riley his flowers right now because he's leading. He's at 36 home runs for a catcher. It's unbelievable, especially pre-All-Star break. I mean, how many is he going to hit? He's going to hit 55 home runs this year? But Cal Riley has been fantastic. But Cam Schlittler didn't blink when facing him. Now, he did give up 2 home runs. Couple mistakes, but that is what it is.
His first Major League start. And for anybody who just read the stat line, didn't read it, Johnny Lugauer basically poured a gas can to the start that was Cam Schlittler, killed his earned runs and everything. Right. Okay, but Cam Schlittler was not one of their top 5 prospects, okay? Like Spencer Jones.
Like 10 or 12 or something like that.
But this is why I bring this up. Obviously, any Major League executive that watched him pitch last night, I think, would jump him up despite what rankings say. But from a Yankee fan perspective, we got to see this. And we know the Yankees do have a good track record, whether it's Clark Schmidt, Luis Heel, of actually developing the pitchers. It's the position players outside of Aaron Judge, and we hope Jason Dominguez, where we have no trust at all. You haven't seen Spencer Jones up in this level. You haven't seen George Lombard up in this level. We now have seen Cam Schlittler. Is that a guy you're willing to part with, or you want to take part with the guys you haven't seen on this level?
He's too tantalizing after last night.
I didn't know where you were going with this.
Too tantalizing. Because
I agree.
There are not a lot of 6'6", 225-pound, 24-year-olds who can hit and place 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and have that kind of confidence in a rookie debut. And no, I'm not saying that the Yankees are in desperation mode, but They needed wins.
Right.
They need to continue to build some momentum. And as we alluded to yesterday, they catch a game on the Blue Jays, who again lost yesterday, and so they're now 2.5 back in the AL East. It makes you feel like you can take a deep breath with him around. Now, start 2 will be different.
Right.
He could get blasted.
He could.
But right now, it feels exciting to have Cam Schlittler as a guy in the back of this rotation right now.
I purposely did not tweet this at Shaun Morash on Twitter because, I didn't need old takes exposed coming after, but I'm going to say it into a microphone right here on WFAN. I thought long and hard this morning, and I had no idea where you're going, so that's why I tried to gauge you. If I'm making trades at the deadline, you can take your Spencer Jones, you can take your George Lombard. I've seen enough after one start. Cam Schlittler is untouchable for me. He is one of those don't touch prospects for me. And I don't want to hear where he was ranked.
Because he's so far down.
I know. But you know what?
It's like when you listen to Smooze yesterday, we listened to, he's like, can you smell desperation?
Right.
It's Cam.
Typical Steve.
Schlitter.
Right, and we'll work on saying his name. But you could have all the attributes you want. You can't teach, I'll just say for lack of a better term, the balls he had. Mm-hmm. And you just can't teach the swag he has, and you can't teach the velocity he has. Right. And it is so hard to find pitching like that as we look at Garrett Cole getting older. We don't trust Carlos Rodon, Stroman coming off the books, Schmidt not next. A Schmidt and a Schlittler. I just thought of that for the first time. He's going to be out all of next year. If I'm now starting to re-rank prospects in my own eyes, prospect ranking magazines be damned. Go get Eugenio Suarez or Clase with a Spencer Jones and a Lombard. Don't touch Cam Schlittler. 888-808-1019. Continue to take your calls on that. We'll monitor the Mets potentially losing a game one of a doubleheader after what has been a great start from David Peterson. And we'll react to that game when it goes final as well. And again, I have a Tiki Barber rabbit hole. I pray he hasn't gone down already because I think it's one for the record books. We're coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios.